Hey, how's it going everyone? Mick Ambrose from All About Tech. Welcome back to another video. As you can see behind me, I have Tomb Raider 1 just running in the background. That is running on an Amazon Fire TV, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to install a PS1 emulator onto the Amazon Fire TV. Now it's important to note that for this example I've used Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is one of my favourite retro titles, and I don't feel like I should have to drag out the PlayStation 1 in order to play it every time I want to play it. So I've got an emulator for it. It's important to note that you should not be downloading games you do not already own. That is copyright by any means. I completely agree with that. Only download games that you own in physical form, and if you own a PS1 in the first place. We're going to be installing it on the Amazon Fire TV. This is the 4K model with the SD card slot. It's much easier to do it that way. It is possible on the Fire TV stick, but this doesn't apply to that as much, as you need to physically download the files onto the Fire TV stick instead. And then I'm also going to show you how to set up a PlayStation 4 controller to it, because it's got Bluetooth, and then you've got the proper PlayStation experience then. So sit back guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Smash that like button, subscribe to All About Tech, and let's get straight into the tutorial. Right, so here we are on the Fire TV. The first thing you want to do is make sure you've got a fresh SD card. Make sure that it is formatted on your PC first, and then insert it into the Fire TV. Now, this can work for the Fire Stick as well. It's just a different means of installing them onto the device. This is for the Fire TV box because it's a more powerful device. The Fire Stick will work, but the performance won't be as good, so I do recommend a Fire TV box. You want to format SD card, because this Fire TV only supports FAT32, and if you've got a SD card that's 64 gigs or up, it will only be able to be formatted on exFAT or NTFS on PC, unless you download software to specifically put it onto FAT32. But luckily the Fire TV does it for us. So what you want to do is you want to download ES File Explorer. That's this one here with the ES. That way you're going to be able to navigate through the SD card. And after you've downloaded that, if you go into your settings, go to device, developer options, you want to turn on apps from unknown sources, and you want to turn on ADB debugging. Now that's all we've got to do first for the Fire TV, so let's jump onto the computer and sort out the files that we need to sort out to get onto the SD card. Now just before you move the SD card from the Fire TV to the computer, make sure you go into your settings on the Fire TV, go to device, SD card, eject SD card, otherwise you might end up corrupting the files on the SD card, and then you're having to go through the entire process again. So make sure you do that guys. Right guys, now that we're on the PC, we're just going to quickly open up File Explorer. We're going to look at the SD card that we've recently formatted on the Fire TV. And you'll know that it's worked correctly because it will have the Android and Lost folders related to the Fire TV. So what we want to do now is we want to go to this website here. It's a Dropbox link, and it's got an up-to-date version of the epsxe file. So you want to download that, which will be in the form of an APK, which is an Android-based application file. Once you download that, pop it into a folder. I've called it PS1, so I've got a folder called PS1, and I've got my emulator here, which I've just renamed. I've got the emulator here. You also need this scph1001.bin file. That's a binary file. That is the BIOS file for the PS1. I'm not going to show you how to download that, purely because of copyright concerns, etc. Same as I won't be showing you how to download games. You can just literally give give that file a Google and you'll be able to download it somewhere. And the same as Tomb Raider or any PS1 game. So I've chosen Tomb Raider because I own a physical copy of Tomb Raider. So once you have this, I've also got some other BIOS files. But what you want to do is you want to create this folder, and the reason you want to create a folder is to keep it all nice and neat and tidy for when we get back onto the Fire TV. So what you want to do is, where I've created this folder, I've put the emulator in it, I've put the BIOS file in it, and I've put my game in it. You want to drag that. So I'm just going to copy it, and you want to paste it in the on your SD card. Now it may take a while, mainly due because PS1 games are actually quite large. So I'm gonna pause the video and I'll carry it on once it's finished. So we're nearly there. There we go. So now we've got the PS1 folder. Let's just quickly check to make sure we've got. Yep, we've got the entire game and the Q file. When you download, well, not when you necessarily download games, but because you can also extract your PS1 games from the discs itself, which I will do another video on separately. But make sure you've got a Q file that links all the tracks together. When you've got less than like 5 tracks, it doesn't really matter so much. But when you've got loads of tracks, you need the Q file to be able to link them together. Like I said, all you need is the scph1001.bin. That's the only BIOS you need. I just have others just because when I got them in a pack. But yeah, now what you want to do is you want to eject the SD card. Always make sure you eject it properly. And now what we will do is we will move back onto the Fire TV and finish up the setup process, and I'll show you some gameplay. Now once your SD card is mounted back to the Fire TV, now you want to go into the ES File Explorer. It can be a bit fiddly with the remote, but go into the SD card, go into that PS1 folder that we made, and as you can see there, it's seeing the epsxe APK. It already knows what it is because there's a PlayStation controller as an icon. Go down to install. Go down to install and let that install. Once that's done, you can open it, which will open this the menu for epsxe is really good on Android, and it runs and it's really well put together for Android TV as well. So what you want to do now is go to Preferences, and then where it says BIOS file, you want to click on that. Do the top one, the parent directory again, go to SD card 1, go to your PS1 folder and select your scph1001 bin. What you want to do next is go back to run game, and it will automatically scan your entire SD card for games, and it will also search a database as well for the picture of the game. As you can see, I've got Tomb Raider here, so I'm going to click it. I've just connected my wireless controller. I'll show you how to do that afterwards. I've not linked the controller properly, but as you can see, it runs brilliantly. Now obviously I've got the black bars and that because I'm running on a widescreen, ultra wide display, and yeah, as you can see, the game. I'll go into gameplay just to show you, and then I'll show you how to set up the controller. Start game. Skip all this. And it runs 100% at full speed as well. That's what I really like the Android Fire TV. And now, as you can see, well, the controls are all skew with, but how do I get my... okay, for some reason I wants to get my guns out. And as you can see, it works full speed. Now, what I'm going to do now, if you press the 3 lines button on the remote, it will come up with this options. You can quit it. Now what I'm going to do is go to Preferences, go down, Screen Ratio. I'm going to change that to widescreen because that's what mine is. And then I'm going to go down to number of players, player 1. And then in order to set up a controller, just go to the settings, controllers and Bluetooth devices, game controllers, and then you search for a game controller. I'm using a PS4 controller as seen here, and it works absolutely fine, no issues whatsoever. And then also a really cool thing to do, just so you don't have to go through searching for it all the time, if you hold the home button, go to apps, and then go down to the epsxe emulator and press options, move to front, and then if you press home and go back to the home, it will be right there at the front, so you never have to go through all your apps to try and find it. Now if we go back into it, go down to preferences and back down to player 1, wireless controller, select gamepad. My one will be this one. And then you want to map your buttons. On the Fire TV remote, you want to press select on each one and then press the button. So down, and then on the controller, down again, on the controller, etc. And then after that, you're ready to go. So now you can just run game. It will search your SD card for the games, and Tomb Raider selected. And that is basically it. So I hope you really enjoyed this, guys. Like this video if, like me, you really love playing your old games, but you don't want to be taking out dozens of consoles or old consoles, having to get all sorts of cables just to be able to connect it up to a modern day TV. It's really annoying. But yeah, that's it. So if you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe to the All About Tech channel. I've got loads more emulation videos, cryptocurrency videos, retro gaming videos, and more tech videos coming up. And I'll catch you guys out in the next video. Peace out. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Now, unfortunately, I've got to go now because I've got some Tomb Raider to play. But make sure you like this video, comment down below if it was helpful. Comment down below what other emulator tutorials you want me to do. There's so much you can do with the Fire TV and loads of other devices which I'm going to do as well. And yeah, subscribe to All About Tech channel, and I'll catch you guys out in the next video. Peace out. Oh, back to my childhood.